What if the most important conversations in your life never actually happened? You're lying in bed, the room is silent, but inside your head, there's noise. A perfect argument you never won, a love story that never began, a future where everything finally works out. You replay it again and again and again. Your heart reacts, your body tenses, your emotions feel real, but none of it is happening. So why does your brain treat fiction like reality? And more importantly, what happens when you start preferring the world inside your mind over the one outside it? Psychologists call this phenomenon maladaptive daydreaming, a condition where imagination stops being harmless and starts becoming addictive. It's not just thinking, it's constructing entire alternate realities, detailed, emotional, and sometimes uncontrollable. People who experience this don't just imagine, they live inside scenarios that don't exist. But here's the disturbing question. Why does the human mind create these fake worlds and sometimes refuse to leave them? Segment 1. The hidden escape, the disturbing purpose of fake scenarios. At first glance, imagining fake scenarios feels harmless. A quiet mental habit, a private world where nothing can truly go wrong. It looks like creativity, like your mind simply wandering, exploring possibilities, telling stories. But beneath that surface, something deeper is happening. Your brain is not creating these worlds randomly. It is responding, adapting, trying to fix something that feels unresolved. Psychological research suggests that excessive daydreaming is often a coping mechanism, an escape route when reality feels lacking, overwhelming, or emotionally unfulfilling. It's not just imagination, it's a form of self-soothing. Think about your real life for a moment. You don't always win the arguments you replay in your head. You don't always receive the love, validation, or recognition you crave. You don't always feel in control of your circumstances, your emotions, or even your own identity. Reality is unpredictable, imperfect, sometimes unfair. But inside your mind, everything bends to your will. In those imagined scenarios, you become the version of yourself you wish the world could see. You say the perfect lines, confident, sharp, unforgettable. You receive the appreciation you never got. You experience closure in situations that still feel open-ended in real life. This is not just imagination anymore. This is emotional compensation. Your mind begins constructing a parallel version of reality, one where your needs are fully met, a place where you are stronger, more admired, more loved, more in control. And at first, it feels comforting, but there's a hidden cost. The more time you spend in these perfected inner worlds, the more your real life begins to feel dull, frustrating, even unbearable by comparison. Reality cannot compete with a world where everything goes right. Slowly, almost invisibly, the gap widens. What once felt like a harmless escape can start turning into dependence. And the very thing that helped you cope begins to make real life harder to face. Segment 2. The brain that can't tell the difference. Scientific explanation. Now comes the unsettling part. Your brain doesn't fully understand the difference between imagination and reality, at least not in the way you might expect. When you vividly imagine a scenario, your brain doesn't treat it like a simple thought. It reacts as if it's an experience. Neural pathways light up in patterns strikingly similar to real-life events. The same emotional circuits engage. The same internal responses begin to unfold. At the center of this reaction is the amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for processing emotions like fear, anger, and pleasure. When your imagined world becomes intense enough, the amygdala fires as if the situation is actually happening. Your heart rate shifts, your muscles tense or relax, your breathing subtly changes. That's why an imaginary argument can leave you feeling genuinely angry. Your body has already gone through the emotional reaction. A romantic fantasy can make you feel warmth, connection, even love, despite no one else being there. And a made-up fear? It can trigger real anxiety, real stress, real discomfort. Because your brain isn't just thinking it, it's experiencing it. Meanwhile, another critical part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, tries to keep things in check. This region is responsible for logic, reasoning, and distinguishing what's real from what's imagined. Under normal conditions, it acts like a filter, reminding you, this isn't actually happening. But here's where things begin to break down. In people who frequently escape into detailed, emotionally charged fantasies, this control system can gradually weaken. The more you indulge the imagination, the more dominant it becomes. The boundary between just thinking and mentally living starts to blur. And once that happens, the loop strengthens. What was once occasional daydreaming becomes habitual, then immersive, then for some, compulsive. This is the tipping point, where ordinary daydreaming crosses into something far more consuming. Because now, you're not just visiting these imagined scenarios, you're being pulled into them. Research into maladaptive daydreaming shows that this pattern can evolve into an almost addictive cycle. People can spend hours lost in their inner worlds, neglecting responsibilities, relationships, and even their own well-being. And perhaps the most disturbing part? It doesn't always feel like a problem from the inside. Many describe an intense urge to continue the story, to return to that inner world, to see what happens next, to extend the narrative just a little further. It feels eerily similar to binge-watching a gripping series, except there's no screen, no pause button, no external limit, because the series is happening inside your own mind, and it never truly ends. Segment 3. When imagination becomes addiction. This is where it turns from habit into dependency. What once felt like a harmless escape slowly begins to take on the characteristics of something much deeper and much harder to control. A large body of psychological research has found that individuals who struggle with maladaptive daydreaming often report significantly higher levels of emotional and cognitive distress. We're talking about patterns linked to conditions like anxiety disorder, depression, intrusive or obsessive thought cycles, and even dissociation. Let that sink in. This isn't just imagination anymore. It's a mental state that overlaps with deeper psychological struggles, ones that don't simply disappear when the daydream ends. In more extreme cases, people find themselves spending hours each day inside their own minds. Time slips away unnoticed. Responsibilities get postponed. Real-world interactions start to feel distant, less engaging, sometimes even exhausting. And when they try to stop, something unexpected happens. They don't just snap out of it, they feel restless, irritated, uncomfortable, almost like a withdrawal response. Because the inner world they've created isn't just entertaining, it's emotionally rewarding, predictable, safe. In many ways, it feels better than reality. That's why some individuals describe it as an addiction, not in the traditional sense of substances, but in the way the mind becomes dependent on the emotional relief it provides. What makes it even more unsettling is how structured these fantasies often are. They're not random flashes of imagination. They unfold like carefully crafted narratives. There are ongoing storylines that evolve over time, recurring characters with defined personalities, emotional arcs filled with conflict, tension, and resolution. It's like a personal Netflix series, except you're not just watching it. The twist and application. Now here's the part that makes this uncomfortable. You might be thinking, I don't have this, but let's be honest. Have you ever replayed an argument in your head, imagining a better comeback? Fantasized about a future where everything suddenly works out? Imagine someone finally understanding you perfectly. That's the same mechanism, just less intense. Because at its core, imagining fake scenarios is something every human brain does. It helps us plan the future, process emotions, escape boredom. In fact, normal daydreaming can even improve creativity and emotional regulation. But the line is thin, very thin. The moment imagination becomes your preferred reality, it stops being a tool and starts becoming a trap. So the next time you catch yourself lost in a perfect imaginary moment, ask yourself something unsettling. Are you controlling the story, or is the story controlling you? Because there's another psychological phenomenon where your mind doesn't just imagine better scenarios, it creates false memories and convinces you they actually happened. And that is far more dangerous. And that is why you need to watch the next video.